Good morning. Good morning. Hello, and how are you? I just decluttered my makeup, and now I'm going to do my makeup. Let's do it. I know no one's on yet, but I could brush my mop. Brush my mop. I'm going out tonight. I'm excited. I'm going out for a ladies' night with people I've never met before, which is always one of my favorite things to do. I'm a crazy introvert who loves the people. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Good morning. How are you? I haven't seen you in a couple moments. What are you up to this weekend? I'm going out tonight, starting the weekend early. Having a ladies' night. Going to a Mexican place. Marie! Yay! The gang's all here. I'm gonna do a little primer today. See, part of me doesn't want to like get too ready because I'm gonna have to redo my makeup before I go out tonight anyway. But I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't do my face. I'll just do my eyes, and then I'll just have to take off my eye makeup. That makes sense? I know it's weird, but I like to have my makeup on point when I go out at night, you know? It's that fancy time. Fancy time. It's, Cora also doesn't have school tomorrow, so it's like starting the weekend early for all of us. We're gonna go, well, I do have a meeting in the morning, like a virtual meeting, work related, and then once that's done, we're going to meet my mom at the mall, do a little shopping and hanging with grandma, Cora's grandma, and I don't know what else, whatever the day brings. Yes. What are you all doing this weekend? Okay, so I will just do concealer and like eye makeup today. I'm gonna keep it simple so I don't have to take off my whole face later. My whole face. So that's the Instant Age Rewind. There we go. Just a little to brighten up under the eye. Look at that eye. Look, it lifts it. It lifts it. And we'll do a little Jesus talk too. Don't worry. Don't you worry. How's everything going? Marie, you didn't email me. You didn't, did you? Did I miss it? I haven't checked today, but it's kind of early, so I doubt you wrote me today, but I think I checked it yesterday at like 5. Before I signed off for the eve. All right, face. We're just gonna do simple eye. I have lotion, like I put a lot of eye cream on by accident. So it's like a little sticky. Let me dry it with my towel here. And then, what should we put on? Eyeshadow. I'm testing out shadows to see what I want to keep. Let's test out one of these. Let's see, do we want to use Cookie? The Cookie ones are fun. But see, like these are kind of dark. I want a daytime look. I need something light. Something light. We could try this. This is Sweet on Santa. I'm just applying this one with my finger. It's a pretty color. It's pretty. It's not like the best formula. My favorite eye makeup. So it used to be Too Faced. And now I often get their like Christmas packages because they're so cute. And I think they're not made the same as like the regular ones. So I will say I do like Too Faced, but not their like limited edition or like holiday ones as much. They don't go on as well. Let's see what else. Like even this palette is actually pretty good, and that's a holiday one, so I don't know how to discern. I think it's the ones with the cardboard packages aren't always like the best. Let me know who I really like, but I forget about. And I have this. I used to have more of their stuff. What is it called? ColourPop. And they are, that's the one that broke right there. They really have pretty good pigment, and they are really, they're cheaper than other brands. Like they're almost like drugstore-ish prices. So they're not as much as Too Faced and stuff, and they have pretty good pigment and a ton of variety, fun packaging. Obviously, you can see I got this one because I love greens, wearing greens. We won't do that today though. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to keep these or not. So that's why I'm like playing around with more. They're kind of chalky. I mean, they still work well enough, but if I have stuff that's better, like tomorrow, I'm going to do this one. See, this is cardboard too, but it's one of their like staples. So I'm going to test that out tomorrow. I'll do a little brown just in the crease. I don't feel like doing eyeliner because I don't want to try to get it off later. Oh, Cora and I are getting our nails done after her school today. That's fun. All right, so I'm gonna give this a go to see if I like it. This is the L'Oreal Flash Cat Eye one. So I usually do. Today I do not have it. Sometimes I just use concealer. I pretty much use concealer. And I feel like I want to buy a new eye primer because my concealer can get like a little creasy. It's the MAC, I think it's the MAC one. The MAC Paint Pot dries. That one I used for a long time, but I just don't love the color. I can't find a good color on me that blends all the way up, so I just don't like it. So I'm trying to think. Urban Decay, I tried that one, didn't like it. So I haven't found one that I like. So it's almost like either a matte concealer I'll use, which I don't have right now, or an eye primer. Use Smashbox. Oh, they haven't an eye primer. Yeah, maybe I'll try that. Oh God, this is, yeah, I don't like this brush. It's too thick. It like, just, you can't control what comes out of it, kind of. Like, it doesn't look that thick, right? But when I just did that, like, a bunch came out. So I'll have to keep this till I get a new one because my Lancome is running out. I'm just going to order my, the L'Oreal Linear Intense. Pricey, but worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll spend money on some makeup, as you know. I will do it. Now I have to figure out, so stupid. I have a new one and an old one, and it's like hard for me to tell. I put it in there. I'm like, great, which is the new one? It's like I'm trying to feel. I think this is the. Wait, is this the new one? I really don't know. It's like they both feel like empty. What the heck? Come on. Maybe I'll be able to, I have to look in the mirror down here. Sorry guys, can't look straight at you. All right, let's see that one. It feels awful. Hopefully that's the old one. Yeah, Better Than Sex is good. And a funny name. Oh, Too Faced. Is this, hopefully this is the new one. Oh my gosh, I really can't tell. Which isn't a good sign. I think it's this one. I don't know. I'm gonna do a second coat of this. I actually think it's this one, but this one's so gloppy. I need to put eye drops in. Yeah, this, oh my gosh. Can you tell? It's like so gloppy. Weird. Hold on, I'm gonna try to. That's weird because I actually think this is the old one. Oh my gosh. But it's performing better. Now since this is so thick, I gotta like, yeah, it must be, but it's weird because It feels heavier. This is so strange. And there's these marks on it, which the new one, I like took a scissor and popped it out. But I'm like, did I do that one with the old one too? I don't know. That is weird. I might have to just open a new one. I mean, either way, it's not old. It's from like Christmas, so it's not 3 months yet. So, but I'll just open a new one and throw those out because it's either almost empty or gloppy, and we don't want that. Toss it home for opening. Yeah, exactly, which was stupid. I didn't. I put one out on the desk and one in there, and I forgot. I'm like, did I put the new one in there or the new one on the desk to use? So I couldn't remember. Okay, Mama needs, I do need a little blush. I can't handle myself without blush here. All right, so let me put all my face products back. Let's try this blush out. This is a spring color by Clinique called Melon Pop. So I'm feeling springy. Yes, confusion. I have such a scattered brain, y'all. Such a scattered brain, ain't afraid to admit it. So I don't have face makeup on under it to make it look like the best it can, but love me. My Rockateur, I'm putting all my stuff back in my drawer from my little declutter. Wipe everything off. Yeah, but oh, Marie, to answer you too, I have been using the Hourglass, these colors as eyeshadows, and they perform really well. Like I'm surprised. Let me see, the lighter color, not as much, but I've been using this one a lot, just all over. You've probably seen that in one of my videos. Like that. Oops, where did it go? Is that it? Hold on. So this is, I have two of them. They're both by Hourglass. They're the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked, Elephant and Butterfly. So let me show you. I couldn't choose at Christmas, and I bought myself both. Merry Christmas to me. So they have different powder colors. You can use like this as a highlight, blushes, bronzer. But I have been using them. I've even been using these on my eyes as eyeshadow. And I was surprised. Now the lighter ones, because they're like translucent powder, they're not going to be like, they're good blending, like to blend, but I don't know that they'd be good on like on their own, you know? But I've been using that. I love that cheek, especially for winter. It's nice. But even this I've been using as an eyeshadow because I like a little shimmer without like glitter, you know? So I don't know. I was just playing around with those one day. I was like, oh, I'll just do this real quick. And I was like, oh, that looks good. It outperforms some like the Too Faced, like these guys. It's better than that on your eyes. So, all right. I'm going to hopefully not knock you over. I knocked over my phone again in my declutter video this morning, which I do like all the time because it's like not very secure hanging on the mirror. So today I just have a work call at 11:30. It's a pretty light day with calls, and then I have to do some coursework. So tomorrow, let's try these out. I'll put those here for tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow if Cora's here, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I'll have to do my makeup for my call anyway and going out. So, and here's my favorite highlight, just so you know. This is Smashbox. Speaking of Smashbox, this is the most beautiful highlight in the world. I love it. Oh my God, it's so pretty. That is by Smashbox and Becca. Champagne Pop, which I think Becca had it just like on her own years ago. I mean, so many years ago, like 10 years ago. I don't know. And then it was discontinued, I think. And then I saw this in TJ Maxx. Highlight, I'll show you how I use it personally. I use the little, honestly, you can use even like a fluffy brush like this if you want, if you don't have a fan brush. The fan brush just puts it on, it's like a lighter touch of it. It's like that. And I use it just, it's like at the and it's hard. I have sucky lighting right now. But like kind of where the sun would hit, like the tops, and then on your Cupid's bow, you can use it there. And then some people do a little like over the eyebrow. I wish you could, but see, it just kind of highlights, hence the word highlight, highlights and gives like more dimension to your face. And I just love glowing because I'm a dry bee, okay? This bee is dry and I like to have dewier skin, highlighted skin, so like I just don't look so sallow and dry because I have that fair Irish skin that I want to like give a little more life to. You know, it's already pale and then it's dry. So I'm trying to moisturize more and add more glow where I can. See when it does there? But yeah. So we're a little more glowy. I mean, you can really, at nighttime, I'll put a little more on. I actually generally don't wear this a lot during the day. Sometimes I feel like it, but great, there's not enough room in there. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. Anyway, oh, Jesus. Let's talk a little Jesus. Oh, today is March 9th, so this date is a big one for me because I was hit by a drunk driver and almost died in 2001. So I always make a post about not drinking and driving on March 9th. It's like my PSA to everybody because it's not worth it. And especially now there's like Uber and everything else. I mean, ever it wasn't good, but now it's like there's really like no excuse. But it was a horrible experience. You like my daily readings? Oh, good. Horrible experience. And I'm very, very grateful I'm still here. Like, I literally thought that was the end. I mean, I was in this crushed car that was on fire. I couldn't move. I couldn't get out. And I remember praying, and the saddest part to me, which still like kills me because now we're no longer friends, which is like really a sad situation, but it is what it is. The girl I was in the car with, who was my best friend at the time, very, very, very close. When I prayed, I remember praying and I said, if you take her, please take me too, which like, that kills me now to know like you were that, just like you love someone so hard like that and didn't want to experience life without them, and then like they're not in your life, you know, and to go through something like that, it's a hard thing. So whenever I think about like when I was praying, like that is the hard part that comes up. But I also, you know, I prayed and I said, God, you've given me such an amazing life. I was 21 and I remember saying like, you've given me such an amazing life already. If this is it, I just want to say thank you for, sorry, I don't talk about this a lot. But I was like, I want to thank you for, you know, giving me what you have given me already at 21. I feel like I've experienced such joy, and I mean, I went through some shit even by 21, but I had such an appreciation for life. And, you know, I was like, I said to him, I said, I don't feel like I'm done yet. And I feel like I have a lot of work to do in the world, and I hope that you can keep me here, right? And thanks, Mary. Hold on, I'll get to your other comment in a second. And that gets me because I think that's why I put a pressure on myself, because I feel like God saved me. I mean, my mom, she had a police officer friend that went to the scene because my mom got the call, and she was like, can you please, I'm going to the hospital, can you just go look and see if she's still there and see what's going on? So she's headed to the hospital because my friend's sister was driving behind us, so she called our parents and was like, this, it's not good. Like, it was not good. We were helicoptered at, like, it was bad. And so my mom called her cop friend. Her cop friend went, and she didn't tell my mom this at the time, but because she didn't want to like make her think I was dead. But she said she like looked at the car and just immediately turned around, and because she didn't want to see, because she was sure I was dead. And so she told my mom later once, you know, the next day when I was like, fine, she said to my mom, I couldn't call you back because I was sure she was not, like, didn't make it. Like, I was sure they both didn't make it. It was like, I mean, the car was hit at like 67 miles an hour by a Cadillac. I had a Honda Civic. I was turning left, and the Cadillac crashed into my, the passenger side of this friend's ride. The passenger side, I can't even make it through a sad story without making a joke. And so it crushed her into me. I think her seat, both of our seats came out of the car. My head went through the window on that side, and we're being hit on top of it at 67 miles an hour. She had grabbed the oh shit bar, as we call it, and it completely shattered her arm, like, to pieces. She had to get a rod in her arm. It was just, the whole thing is just, I won't go through all the details, but my point is, I thought that we were crispy fried done, and that was it. She was not responsive. I was like saying her name and trying, like, talking very slowly, but I was like, I'm not gonna say her name for privacy, but so I said her name, and I remember that's why I was like, if you take her, take me too. Like, I don't want to. Let's talk, Jesus. Let's not talk about that anymore. Okay. Real Christy coming through. Good morning. All right. Everyone take a breath with me, please. I think I'm the only one who needs to take a breath. Okay. I'm just going to skip that. Anyway, I was so grateful. I'm very grateful to be here. And I think I feel a pressure to do more than I do because I got like a second chance. So here I am. Oh, hi, Sarah. Woo! Happy good morning. I haven't seen you in a while, and now you come back to this blubbering mess. Okay. And it's okay to cry. I'm not saying it's not. It's just I didn't expect that. I forgot it was March 9th until just now, and I always get a little emotional on this day. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the Weeping Women's Club. Okay. Woo! All right. Rest in my radiant presence. The world around you seems to spin faster and faster till everything is a blur. I actually remember this from last year. Yet there is a cushion of calm at the center of your life where you live in union with me. Return to this soothing center as often as you can, for this is where you are energized, filled with my love, joy, and peace. I want to stop there because yesterday I had this moment. I was doing a meditation, and I was like, you know, not everybody knows, like, to meditate. And I don't mean you have to, like, do some crazy, like, I mean just taking 3 minutes and just literally just stopping what you're doing. Like they're saying, like, you're just in this circle of life, right? This, like, at least, especially in like busy areas where I live, everyone's going a mile a minute, checking off the to-do list, doing all the things, trying to be this and that and do better. And like I said, even with myself, I'm always like, I feel like this pressure, like I have to do more and be more and serve more people because God gave me this second chance at life, right? And I mean, there's something to that. I think I do need to help whoever I can. But it's also like you also have to, like, you have to fill your cup before you can pour out, right? So yesterday I was just doing a little like meditation for a couple minutes. I was like, you know, I need to talk about it more. How, like, it's okay to just stop. Good morning, Bubble. To stop. Oh, you missed me crying. That's fun. To stop throughout the day and just, like, give yourself permission. Like, it's okay to just take 3 minutes and stop and just, whether it's concentrating on your breathing or like shutting your eyes, listening to like a slow song, like just taking yourself out of the hustle bustle of the day, which I do, but I don't like talk about that a lot. And I feel like that needs to be not just like, I know I talk about with my clients, like, oh, your morning routine, get up, You do your, even if it's just that 4-minute meditation that I created that like everyone freaking loves. That thing gets so much positive feedback, and it's on Insight Timer, and I've got like hundreds of reviews on that. People love it because it's 4 minutes, but it totally shifts your energy. And it's like a mood boost, right? It like gets you like, yes, I'm ready for the day. It's 4 minutes. But you can do that throughout the day. You can stop, even if you're out at work or you're, you know, running around, sit in your car for an extra few minutes before you go in the store. Go take a pee break. That's really a namaste break now, or a prayer break. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, woo-woo. I don't care what you do, who you worship, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just taking space, just taking a few minutes to like recenter. And yes, you can pray during that time, or you can just calm your body, just like recalibrate, rebalance your system. That's like, right? Because we're humans and we're running around like little crazy ants. So, okay, center as often as you can, for this is where you're energized, filled with my love, joy, and peace. That's where you can find it. If you can't find joy and peace out there, damn right, you can stop for a few minutes and pray and find it. Like that's a thing. Do you know that's a thing? Good. The world is a needy place. True. Do not go there for sustenance. Instead, come to me. God, the world is needy. And we have a lot of needy people in it too. Learn to depend on me alone, and your weakness will become saturated with my power. I underlined that last year. Your weakness will become saturated with my power. Reach out to Jesus. That's right. What's up, JC? It's time. When you find your completeness in me, you can help other people without using them to meet your own needs. Let's say that again. You can help other people. This is huge because there's a lot of people, I know a couple, that help others to fulfill something in them. That's not what we're doing here. Like, that's not it, sis. That's not it, right? We're helping people to do the work of God and to help them, right? Like, it shouldn't be for the attention of it. We shouldn't blast it across social media and, oh, look at me and look what I did, right? There are those people. I see them. I see the big brags. And like, I get, hey, at least they're helping people, right? They could not be helping people and bragging about something else. So I'll give them a little bit, but that's not the point, right? I think we know that, but even good people, like we might have our moments where we're like, we kind of want to be like patted on the back or something, right? It's human, but that's not what it's about. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. Stay away from the big brags. Yes. Life is not about patting ourselves on the back. It's not about the attention. A lot of that, and this is where I have compassion for those people, because I know a couple of them and I know their life story, and I know they had very hard childhoods. And I do believe that's where it comes from, right? So I try to give people grace. When I see people bragging about anything, I'm like, they didn't maybe get enough attention as a child, or they could have been abused, because trauma, that can be a thing, right? If you were abused, like I was a class clown, right? I do genuinely love making people laugh, so I always get confused with that. Hold on, but when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Yes, exactly. Thank you. I like your Bible pulls, because I do not have them stacked in my brain. I wish I did. I don't know why I can't, like, I remember some verses, but I wish I could remember more. But those who come across as entitled. Yes, true. That's true. And I'm trying to think, though, even that, are people who come across as entitled, does that come from stuff? I mean, we all have our stuff, so it could. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying I do try to think, okay, I'm not going to reinforce what they're doing. I'm not going to pat them on the back. But in the back of my mind, usually I'm like, they probably, something's going on that they need this validation. Now, you know how I feel about narcissists. If it's complete narcissism, I mean, that could essentially be caused by upbringing and stuff too. I think it's also a chemical issue going on. But either way, it doesn't matter, because once it goes to abusive or any, like, I don't care if it's called narcissism. I don't care what causes someone to be like that. I don't care if they had a horrible childhood. Guess what? A lot of us did, and we're not out there being narcissistic or abusive, right? The people you mentioned may do it for self-preservation. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, I can think of one person I know does not have ill will in her. She does not do anything intentionally, but she is a savior. Well, I have a whole podcast on narcissism, so yes, I don't throw the word around lightly. I do think something, what is my definition? My definition, it's a big definition. It could go on and on all day, but because it's so complex. It's not just someone with a big ego. A narcissist is someone who really doesn't have empathy, but I will be honest, deep, deep down, they are more than meets the eye, but in this lifetime, it is so minimal. There's so minimal chance that they will actually ever be their authentic self that is deep down in there. It's almost like they have such a hate for themselves that they can't let that real part out. So they have this facade. They have this face they wear with no empathy. Yes, they absolutely destroy others' lives. And they need that to feed themselves. They hands down need to suck energy from other people in order to fill themselves up. And that's part of why they can't be alone. They literally need to feed off of somebody else to fill themselves up. And that they're literally sucking the energy. So kind of like a personality con man. Yeah, you could put it that way. I like that. I like that. Yeah. And narcissist also, there's a lot of things that human parasites. Yes, they're awful. They're the worst kind. And they use certain things and we hear these words, gaslighting, and people throw that around and don't use it correctly either. But if you ever watch the movie, that's interesting. But gaslighting, I mean, essentially it comes down to where they literally manipulate things to make you feel like you're crazy. Even by saying I didn't do that. I didn't say that. And then you're like, wait, I could have sworn they said that. And you start questioning yourself because, I mean, let's be honest, they're the crazy one. You saw that movie? Yeah, I just saw it this year for the first time. But they cannot handle rejection. Another thing, none of us like rejection. Who likes rejection? But for a lot of them, it depends. There's different types, covert and overt narcissists, right? And so it depends on their personality a little, but a lot of them mostly will at least feel anger about rejection rather than kind of sadness, right? You saw it too, Marie? Look at us all watching gaslighting. Where if I get rejected, I feel sad or maybe humiliated or something, right? I feel like that's the typical healthy response. It's also healthy to learn to cope with that and turn it around and be like, okay, this is life. God never promised us things are going to be rainbows and butterflies all the time. I got rejected. Take a breath. What is there anything I could have done differently? Move on, right? Way of making you crazy to doubt yourself. Yes. I'll get to also about control in a second. Remind me if I forget. And now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we'll go to the control thing. Also, narcissists, it's always, always, always about control with them. So in any situation when you're with a narcissist, they are either getting control, trying to take control, or they are checking to see if they still have control. It is yes, thank you for reminding me. So, they have anger as a response usually with they might hide it at first, but it will become angry. Like, let's say someone gets broken up with. Instead of feeling sad or like frustrated, it can come out really in like this anger and like entitlement, kind of like Marie was talking about, those type of people. And it's like, how dare you? Do you know who I am? Duh, duh, duh. It's like, nobody rejects me. You know, it's like this very over. Is that a good word for all of it? Are you writing that? Oh, it popped up. I don't know why it keeps popping up. Okay, sorry. So yes, to them, it could feel like a death to them, but it's not. It's more about they're not in control, right? And yes, they use you and they move on, right? So they will chew you up and spit you out. The thing is, they don't like to have to make a big effort. So when they already have someone on the lines, right? They already have control of you. They get pissed because let's say you're with them for 2 years. They had all this control. All of a sudden, let's say you get empowered and you wake up and you're like, wait, what am I doing? This person's treating me like poodles. And you bounce out. They're going to get really mad because they know it's not always easy. It takes time to get control of people. They love to get control of people. And they always have like one that they really like have close and very close control of, whether it's a romantic partner, a best friend, a child, right? We hear a lot of these narcissistic parents that control everything their child does, even into adulthood. They're trying to control them, right? Yes, when you catch on their game, they get pissed for 2 reasons. They lose control. A lot of people, yeah, it seems like more people are narcissists, or maybe we're just smarter so we recognize it's that. They lose control and they don't like to be exposed, right? So they think everyone loves them and like they're the greatest, and of course everyone loves them, right? So if you're like, oh, this person's treating me like crap, and you start talking about it and you break up with them, they're like, oh, people will know something's wrong. They'll think something's wrong with me because someone broke up with me, right? So now they're mad because first, they don't have control. Second, you have exposed them as a different narrative than they are trying to give the world, right? They're trying to show the world how amazing and great they are. So if you broke up with them, that's not in alignment with what they want the whole world to think of them, right? They need people to love them. Like a lot of them are very like charismatic, right? Again, there's different types. So there's the more charismatic, like, hey, look, it's me. I'm fabulous and great, but really I like abuse people all the time in my free time. And then there's the kind that are more subtle. They're not maybe like as, they're, you know, more introverted and almost like a more sneaky kind of way. Sneaky, but they still do the control. They still are abusive. So there's different kinds of narcissists too. But yeah, the definition, I mean, they don't have empathy and they are constantly needing to be in control and seeking control of other people. And they usually have a couple that they'll like are their go-to. Like they kind of like to have a backup, but they really concentrate on one. If you look at a family dynamic, there's usually one person that's like really under their thumb, and then they'll have an enabler. So there's usually somebody that's helping that along. I'm starting to think spirits are real. Like people are literally under influence of certain spirits. I don't know, you know, it's a communal narcissist. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I have my podcast. It's called But Still She Thrives. I still don't think I've put it in my stupid description down there, but it's But Still She Thrives. And I started in January, so I'm on like the 13th episode, I think. But it touches on a lot of this. And I'm mostly focusing on helping people who have like just disconnected or have disconnected like a couple of years ago or something, but like are still healing. Like, because once you cut a narcissist out, that is not the end. And if you know narcissism, you know that. Like, that is a new beginning. It's a new beginning. And it can be, I mean, it can be worse, right? It can be worse. There are really bad situations where it ends up worse than while you're in it, right? Because they freak out because of that rejection. Certain people just can't help but to be a certain negative way all the time. Yeah. You've disconnected. Oh, I'm glad you did. Yeah. They can destroy your entire life, and then they'll do smear campaigns. That's when you do disconnect from them. This happened to me, where I disconnected from a family member, and they had their friends contact me like crazy. Like, oh, you need to talk to such and such, and you need to, like, bro, back up. That's what I said. PTSD. Yeah. And yeah, because even after you're more healed, like, I've come a long way, right? It's been several years. I did therapy. I've done my own just research and work. And obviously narcissism is like my wheelhouse now. Even I will have my moments, you know, where I will question myself. It's that damaging to your mind. Is it a good tactic to have a narcissist reject you? So this is very interesting. Actually, you know what? Oh, I want to write that down as an episode. And trying to think of like a quick way to say it, but I think that's such a good episode idea. I love that. Part of me likes to try to make it feel like it's their decision because they need the control. So I say yes, but they always, it's hard. It's a double-edged sword because honestly, they'll always try to get you back under their grip. So they don't want to let go usually of the people they've controlled. That's where it's hard, where it's like, I've done that, where I let the person get like mad at me, mad enough where they're like, well, fine, well, I'm going to block you. I was like, yes, right? Like I did what I thought was right. And I had learned a lot about narcissism at the time. So I did it. I did the right things. It happened. But then they reached out and were trying to make amends, right? So, because they're going to keep coming back. So that's where eventually you'll probably have to be the one to do it anyway. So you might save yourself the heartache because they're going to try to get you back. Sometimes they can move on, but there's no real like way to know if they will. That actually is a great tactic. I'm gonna remember that. Yeah. I mean, and you can try it. And then if they come back, I mean, for me, then it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna block this person now, you know? Become so needy and demanding, they will reject. I don't know if that'll work. They may say they don't love needy, but they love needy. They love to be needed. It inflates their ego. It helps that ego. So it's tough. I mean, that's why I'm saying it would be a whole episode. And actually, but it could be like a series, honestly, of the ways you can disconnect where it is kind of pushing them to do it. Don't play games. But yeah, in the end, if you do that, yeah, they're going to probably try to come back anyway. I mean, in my experience, in narcissists, they always come back. Always. Even if it's a romantic person and they moved on, I literally had a narcissist. So I've had two main narcissists in my life. One was romantic, and they came back even when they were married, trying to talk and stuff, you know? So, yes, my advice always is no contact. Like, that is the number one advice. Just cut off contact. Some people can't, right? You're all where you are in your journey. But no contact is the first way. My second advice, if you cannot, let's say you're co-parenting, you can't have absolutely no contact, then you go to the gray rock method. That is on one of my podcast episodes. It explains. Yeah, there we go, Marie. She knows what's up. Gray rock, I mean, that's the best way to do things. That is literally eventually they'll go away. And not to say they won't come back again, right? But if you're set up and you have strong boundaries and you're tough and you're strong, because you have to get to a strong place to do it, gray rock is absolutely the best method besides no contact. Yeah. because you're a gray rock, right? Like you're just there. It's bare minimum. It's yes or no. It's no emotion. You are a flat line. Like you're just, they are trying to rile you up and they're lying and you know it and you want to be like, I never did that. What you go, okay. Like not in person. Hopefully you're not in person with them. Like if you have to talk to someone because of a co-parenting situation, I can't think of many situations you have to, but I'm also here in my journey. So of course I might be forgetting what it felt like when I thought I could not, right? I don't totally forget. But when you have other family members saying you can't disconnect from this person, you can't do that, right? Yes, never share your feelings. Never, yeah, keep everything locked in like a cage. And it is a bare minimum response if you have to. If not, no contact. But if you have to have contact, it literally is like, let's say you have to share custody, right? So it's like, and they're like, why can't you just take her this weekend? We can switch weekends and they're all pissed and you want to explain. You can just say, I can't. See you Sunday at 12. No emotion, no explaining anything, nada. Like simple. And like I always think of it too with that stuff, just side note, always write everything like you're in court. Like very simple facts, no emotion, right? Like especially with these people. In general, if you're going through a divorce and or custody stuff, always have everything written, always have it on email, like or paper, and make sure it's somewhere you can save. They actually have apps, which is awesome, I think, for a narcissistic situation, like custody situation. They have apps where you can ask for it to be mandatory that you only talk through that app. And like, I think your lawyer can have access to it or something. A good book. Oh, Dr. Ramani, I love her. Do you know who I am? Co-parenting with a narcissist has to be, oh gosh. Oh, yeah. I thank God that I am not in that situation. That is literally, I know I have a couple of clients that are in that situation and they literally have moved on. They are remarried and they're still having to deal with this person on a basically daily basis. So it's not fun. They're not fun. Don't get sucked in that deep. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist, get out before you have to be tied by children, because once kids are in the picture, it is so hard. And again, that's why I say do everything in writing, because I have one client that I told her to do that and it actually helped because he wrote something. It was just on email, but she had that then. He wrote something that actually ended up him getting custody taken because she had it written. He basically, claimed that he was going to take the child illegally. And he wrote an email because he was a dumb narcissist. They're smart, but when they're really up in their feelings and feel rejected and they're afraid of losing control, they can be very messy. That's why you want it all on email. Yeah, document everything. Yeah, we have a lot of good episode material here, right? I love that. I love that. I love having these conversations because I want more people to know about all this and how to help. I'm glad you asked specific questions, so thank you for that, about the definition and all of that. I have an episode on, the signs of, I say toxic people, I think, in it, but, of narcissists. Yeah, because they're out there. There's a lot of them. And here's the thing. And my client yesterday actually said, why does it seem, now that I realize such and such is a narcissist, why do I feel like there's so many in my life? That is another topic, right, to talk about. Know why? Because if you have one in your life, let's say from childhood, the dynamic was you were the victim of a narcissist, right? Awesome, right? You're the victim of a narcissist. Guess what? That dynamic is comfortable for you. You are 20 times more likely to then attract narcissistic people while you're still in that mindset because you don't realize how awful and wrong it was. Yes, become accustomed. So you are a perfect primed victim for people later in life, or even childhood friends, right? Like, you are used to being controlled, or kind of like you are used to the dynamic of tiptoeing around people and putting other people first, or like it's not that alarming in your body when people mistreat you because you're used to it, right? It's the same thing why abused children get in abusive relationships sometimes, where that's what they knew. I mean, so it doesn't seem that crazy. So it is very common. I would say it's almost a standard that if you grew up with a narcissist in your childhood and you had a dynamic, a close dynamic, you probably have some narcissistic friends. You probably have had romantic narcissistic relationships, you know, romantic relationships, because it's what you know, it's what you're used to. So you kind of like attract what you know. The good news is once you start seeing the red flags, you cut out those narcissists, like that main one, then you start to look around, you're like, oh, wait, there's similar characteristics in that person, in my friendship here, and in this guy I'm dating. Okay, I need to break this cycle, right? So the good news is it's not like you are damaged forever. Yes, we got some work to do, but you can see it now. Like, you start to see it more easily as time goes on. And then you get what's happening with one of my clients now is so cool, because it went from like seeing it to now she's like, I'm not going to ever stand for anything remotely like her strength. We have gotten her just like, oh, this like iron woman who takes nothing from anybody and recognizes like at the first sign. I mean, someone the other day just did something. She was like, out, just dropped him, whatever. That's not cool. Not going to work. Right. And I love that. Oh, it makes me so happy. Like, that's why I do this work. So, all right. Wow. Long live here, guys, but I think it was worth it. Thank you. I love these random people coming in and talking about this stuff. Subscribe so we can have more of you. They talk about themselves and talk about themselves. Yes. Yes. About how great they are. And I did this and that. There's one in my, well, not one that I cut out of my life. Every single call is about, know what I did? Know what I did? Know what I did? Look at me, what I did. And everything comes back to them. Well, I think that their opinion is the only opinion, right? You get the point. Yes. Thank you, guys. This was fun, even though it's talking about narcissists, but that's just, it makes me so passionate because I want to help people get away from the narcissists. All right. Love you. Put your deuces up, and I will see you tomorrow for some Born This Way. Baby, I was born this way. Little Jesus, little narcissist talk, little makeup. This is educational. Yes. Good. Well, listen to my podcast. That's, you know, hopefully educational too. You find out more. All righty. Smooches and deuces. All right. Thanks, Bubbles, for coming by. Bubbly wubbly. My bubbly. And Drunk. I love that Drunk's your name. That makes me laugh. All right. Bye, guys. Happy almost Friday.